Hey guys, Man 945 here. Welcome back to another video. Um, so I just finished watching a video like 5 seconds ago. Um, about writing mistakes in Mandalorian season 3, and it just kind of gave me inspiration to record I guess why I couldn't finish Mando season 3. And what my opinions are, I guess, on the future of Star Wars, I guess, and how I feel about it. So starting with the Mando season 3 thing, I could not finish it. It was boring, and in general, just, kind of, subpar, to be honest. Um, because the first season for me of The Mandalorian, it was an absolute peak in my enjoyment of Star Wars because um it was really the thing that kind of grounded my love for canon again. Obviously, I love all of Star Wars, but um I've always been more of a Legends person, and before The Mandalorian uh, came out necessarily, I was basically 90% of my enjoyment came from Legends content. And then when I watched The Mandalorian, it was like boom, it was back to 60-40 or something like that. Um so The Mandalorian did meant a lot to me for that. But also The Mandalorian was where I really learned what truly makes incredible world building in a show, because the way that the first season uses side quest episodes and atmosphere and like quiet, wide environments, um it's just a masterclass in TV because it truly expanded the Star Wars galaxy in a way that canon had never really done before. Um, and season 2 of The Mandalorian was the same kind of thing because I felt like I felt like um they took the direction of the plot in a much more serious and tonal direction, which is exactly what the second season needed. But there is still those critical elements of world building with those side quest episodes that are just as good as the stuff on the first season. Um and that is just like overall the peak when it comes to the Mandalorian, I think. And then Book of Boba Fett came out. And I still think Book of Boba Fett is a good show. I will stand by that opinion because I love the Boba Fett stuff. I think it's awesome. I do think a big weakness of the show is the fact that it tried to be Mandalorian 2.5, basically. And but like, but at the time I was thinking, okay, this is not the best writing decision, but this is something that they can cover from if they play their cards with season 3 correctly. That's what I was thinking. And then season 3 came out and it just did not do that. Um, from the very beginning, it hints at a potential side quest episode that would have been completely pointless, and immediately shuts that down in the same episode. Um, and and then there's just a random episode about effects from the Empire, which would have been semi interesting if that had actually gone somewhere. but it really didn't, and it was just kind of a slog. And considering that was one of the 4 episodes I managed to get through, it's like compared to the first 2 seasons, like um uh like Disney basically just uh completely effed themselves in the butt because I think that with the troubling foundations that they laid in Book of Boba Fett, and then just the absolute mess that was Mando season 3, they just they just it's like building a house and but the foundation that you put in the house is shit. And obviously if you don't have good foundation in the house, then it's going to fall down. Uh so so you and then you're surprised when the house collapses even though you knew you put bad foundation in. It's like that's what Mando season 3 is. Like they just completely F themselves in the butt because they just did not make good decisions when it came to the consistency of the writing and the characters at all. And what that just led to was a boring, subpar season of TV that just was disappointing. Ah, so that's kind of like my bit about Mando season 3. I hadn't really planned on making a direct specific video for it, but I this is kind of like lumping two and two together, I guess. So, Um, with regards to the future of Star Wars, I think that I still have hope. Um, uh, it's getting harder and harder to uphold that. But I do want to talk about like two different aspects in which well, three things in kind of which I still have hope, I guess, so to speak. So with Mando season 3, I think that might potentially be the death of that kind of storytelling that's able to be told from Disney, just because of the negative reception and how it just really, really did not work out that way. However, though, if they can tell more stories like Andor, then Star Wars is going to succeed. And this is coming from somebody who was quite skeptical. Like, I got to admit, when I was watching the trailers and when I heard of the concept in the show, I always thought Cassian Andor was like one of the least captivating characters in Rogue One. And so I was like, why is this character of all characters getting his own show? Like, what is the actual point? But Andor really surprised me. I'm not going to go out and say it's the best Star Wars show. I didn't like it that much. I do think that there are some things that it probably could have done better with regards to its pacing. Uh, but the way that it kind of uses slow build-ups to its advantage, um, it's something that we really need to see more of. And if being the key word, they can tell more stories with the same quality like that, then I seriously think that there is good hope for it because uh there just is a lot to look forward to. Um now uh the second thing that I want to talk about is the overhaul side of things. Now, as I previously mentioned, I love Legends more than canon. I've always been a Legends guy. That's like the majority of my enjoyment from Star Wars. Uh, and I feel like them finally tapping into the potential of the Old Republic that it has and the rich, basically infinite. pool of storytelling that they'd be able to pull from instead of sticking so close to canon, I think is going to be incredibly interesting. And uh, and I just think that yeah, that's basically it. Like I think the Dawn of the Republic stuff, I think that's going to be um seriously interesting, and it seriously has the potential to save live action Star Wars. Because to be honest, if either of those two things are like complete flops, then ultimately I think it just might be the death of live action Star Wars as a whole. Obviously that's very sad to think about. And that's why I kind of still hold out hope that that is not going to happen, and that we do get like, and that the stuff that they're just beginning to do with Legends content is like turning out to be turned out to be good, and that they give more and or stories like that. They're just like that quality of storytelling once again. Um, However, if that rather dark future were to happen for some reason, I feel like the main reason that I still hold out hope for Star Wars is the animated content. And um I say this because Clone Wars is one of my favorite shows of all time. Rebels has its highs and lows. Don't get me wrong. When they're highs, they're seriously peak. Um, and with various releases that have come out in the past few years, such as the Bad Batch, Visions, and Tales of the Jedi, specifically, like I, with all of those together, like I truly believe that the that animation is going to be the medium on which the future of Star Wars is going to thrive. Um, because I think that they have just barely tapped into the potential of this with ideas like Clone Wars, Rebels, um, the Bad Batch, Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Jedi. If we got something like that again in animation, like the possibilities are literally limitless. And talking about like an actual thing where the storytelling possibilities are limitless, we need to look no further than Visions, because I haven't actually had time to make a review on this, so I'll kind of like stuff it in here. But Vision Season 2 was absolutely incredible. And while I don't think it had the same like level of storytelling quality as the first season, it's very close. I feel like the second season is better in terms of it really was able to explore what happens if we are even more experimental than the first season, because the second season had so many more different and incredibly unique styles of animation that were all beautifully animated. And there was also some really good story content in there as well. And I think that, like, you could literally make infinite seasons of Visions, and it would be just as popularly received. Because the storytelling potential is literally limitless in terms of like because the studios that animate for Visions are basically given completely free reign, like almost free reign, to do however they want to make a Star Wars story, as long as it fits within like the most basic parts of Star Wars canon, like the fact that like the timeline of like the Jedi and then the Empire and then the Rebellion and then good stuff. Uh like like that's literally the only like context that's necessary for making a vision story like that. And if they're going before then, or like at a time when the timing of the like universe isn't actually discernible, then that truly makes it an infinite possibility of potential like stories that they can tell. And um because of that and new products that they're coming out with like Tales of the Jedi and the Bad Batch that were also absolutely fantastic. Um and on top of that, the fact that they are making live action continuations of great animated shows, like the Ahsoka show being a continuation of Rebels. I'm really excited for the Ahsoka show, and I hope it turns out to be good. And I hope I'm not like cursing the future here, but like if that could be a viable possibility, then in turn, when this is with this hypothetical scenario that that live action Star Wars does eventually collapse due to continuous writing failures, then animation could also potentially be the thing that saves live action Star Wars. Um, so I basically to summarize the point of this video, I truly believe that animation is the medium on which the future of Star Wars will thrive. And 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 that's only in the very hypothetical dark scenario that like live action Star Wars just does not work out, because that will continue to be fun as well if they continue to write stories to the same quality as Andor and continue with that type of mindset as they dive into the Legends content and making that canon. Um, so yeah, this was just a very spontaneous discussion video that I just spur of the moment felt like recording. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.